Sasuke Uchiha sat alone in his room, staring at the picture of his family on his dresser. His thoughts were consumed by his desire for revenge against his brother, Itachi, and his conflicted feelings about Konoha. He had always been driven by his thirst for vengeance, but lately, he had begun to question his beliefs. Ever since the incident with Orochimaru, Sasuke had felt isolated and betrayed by the village. He believed that leaving and joining Orochimaru was the only way to achieve his goals and become strong enough to defeat Itachi. He couldn't trust anyone, not even his former teammates, Naruto and Sakura. As Sasuke sat in silence, he heard a knock at the door. He ignored it at first, but the knocking persisted. Eventually, he got up and opened the door to find Naruto standing outside. "Hey, Sasuke. Can we talk?" Naruto asked, his voice filled with concern. Sasuke hesitated, but eventually nodded and let Naruto inside. They sat down on the bed, facing each other. "What do you want, Naruto?" Sasuke asked, his tone cold and distant. Naruto took a deep breath and looked Sasuke in the eye. "I want you to stay in the village, Sasuke. I know you're struggling with your feelings about Konoha and your desire for revenge, but leaving and joining Orochimaru isn't the answer. We're your friends, Sasuke. We care about you." Sasuke scoffed. "Friends? You and Sakura are nothing to me. You don't understand what I've been through. You don't know what it's like to lose everything." Naruto's expression softened. "I may not know exactly what you're going through, Sasuke, but I do know that revenge won't bring your family back. And I know that you're stronger than your desire for revenge. You can overcome this. We can help you." Sasuke remained silent, his eyes locked on the ground. Naruto stood up and put a hand on Sasuke's shoulder. "Think about it, Sasuke. You don't have to do this alone. We're here for you." With that, Naruto left the room, leaving Sasuke alone with his thoughts. Despite his initial resistance, Sasuke began to question his beliefs. Could he really find the strength he needed in Konoha, with his friends and allies by his side? Or was leaving and joining Orochimaru the only way to achieve his goals and fulfill his revenge? Sasuke sat in silence, contemplating his next move. Chapter 2, Bond Strengthened. The next day, Sasuke decided to meet with Sakura. He wanted to hear what she had to say about his decision to leave the village and join Orochimaru. He knew that Sakura was worried about him, but he wasn't sure if he was ready to hear her out. As Sasuke walked towards the training grounds, he couldn't help but think about what Naruto had said to him the previous night. Could he really find the strength he needed in Konoha? Was leaving and joining Orochimaru really the only way to achieve his goals? When Sasuke arrived at the training grounds, he saw Sakura waiting for him. She looked worried, and Sasuke could tell that she had been crying. "Sasuke-kun," Sakura said, her voice shaky. "I'm so glad you're okay. I was so worried about you." Sasuke looked at her, his expression unreadable. "What do you want, Sakura?" Sakura took a deep breath and looked Sasuke in the eye. "I want you to stay in the village, Sasuke. I know you're hurting, but leaving and joining Orochimaru isn't the answer. We're your teammates, Sasuke. We're your friends. We care about you." Sasuke remained silent, his eyes locked on Sakura. "I know you're angry and hurt, Sasuke-kun," Sakura continued. "But revenge won't bring your family back. It won't make the pain go away. You're stronger than your desire for revenge, Sasuke-kun. You're stronger than Orochimaru. And we're here to help you." Sasuke looked away, his thoughts racing. He had always been driven by his thirst for revenge, but lately, he had begun to question his beliefs. He couldn't help but wonder if Sakura was right. "I don't know what to do, Sakura," Sasuke admitted, his voice barely above a whisper. "I don't know if I can trust anyone anymore." Sakura took a step closer to Sasuke, her eyes filled with compassion. "You can trust us, Sasuke-kun. We won't let you down." With that, Sakura hugged Sasuke tightly, her arms wrapped around him. Sasuke hesitated for a moment, but eventually wrapped his arms around her too. In that moment, he realized that he had been pushing away the people who cared about him the most. He knew that he needed his friends more than ever before. As they pulled away from the hug, Sasuke looked at Sakura and smiled for the first time in what felt like forever. "Thank you, Sakura." Sakura smiled back at him. "Anytime, Sasuke-kun. We're in this together." Chapter 3, Training with Kakashi. Sasuke spent the next few days reflecting on his decision to leave the village and join Orochimaru. He couldn't shake the feeling that he was making a mistake, but he didn't know how to move forward. One day, Kakashi approached Sasuke while he was training on his own. "Sasuke, can we talk for a moment?" Kakashi asked. Sasuke nodded, curious as to what his former sensei wanted to talk about. Kakashi sat down on a nearby bench and motioned for Sasuke to join him. I know that things have been difficult for you lately, Sasuke, Kakashi said. But I want you to know that I'm here for you. We all are. Sasuke remained silent, unsure of how to respond. I've been watching you train, Sasuke, Kakashi continued. And I have to say, you're impressive. But you're holding yourself back. You're not pushing yourself to your full potential. Sasuke looked at Kakashi, surprised by his words. He had always thought that he was pushing himself as hard as he could. I want to help you, Sasuke, Kakashi said. I want to train you. I want to help you become the strongest ninja you can be. Sasuke's eyes widened in surprise. He had always respected Kakashi's skills as a ninja, and the idea of training with him was tempting. Kakashi stood up and held out his hand. What do you say, Sasuke? Will you train with me? Sasuke hesitated for a moment, but eventually took Kakashi's hand. I'll train with you, Kakashi-sensei. Over the next few weeks, Sasuke trained with Kakashi every day. Kakashi pushed him to his limits and helped him improve his technique. Sasuke's skills as a ninja improved dramatically, and he felt himself becoming stronger with each passing day. As he trained, Sasuke began to realize that he didn't need to leave Konoha to become stronger. He had everything he needed right here in the village. He had his friends, his family, and his fellow ninja. And with Kakashi's help, he knew that he could become one of the strongest ninjas in the village. As Sasuke finished his training session with Kakashi one day, he looked at his former sensei and smiled. Thank you, Kakashi-sensei. I couldn't have done it without you. Kakashi smiled back at him. You're a natural, Sasuke. I'm proud of you. Chapter 4, A New Mission. After weeks of training with Kakashi, Sasuke felt like a new person. He was more confident in his abilities and felt like he had a purpose again. One day, he was called to the Hokage's office for a new mission. When he arrived, he was surprised to see that Naruto was already there. Sasuke. It's been a while, Naruto said with a grin. Sasuke nodded in acknowledgement, still not quite used to the idea of being on friendly terms with Naruto again. The Hokage cleared his throat. I have a mission for the two of you, he said. A group of rogue ninja has been causing trouble in a nearby village. We need you to take care of the situation. Sasuke and Naruto both nodded, eager to prove their worth as ninja of Konoha. The mission was a success, and Sasuke and Naruto worked together seamlessly. As they traveled back to Konoha, they talked and joked like old friends. Sasuke couldn't help but feel a sense of belonging that he had never felt before. For the first time in a long time, he felt like he was part of something bigger than himself. As they approached the village, Sasuke turned to Naruto. Thank you, he said simply. Naruto looked confused. For what? For reminding me of what's important, Sasuke said. For being my friend. Naruto grinned. Anytime, Sasuke. That's what friends are for. As they entered the village, Sasuke felt a sense of contentment that he had never felt before. He knew that he had made the right choice in staying in Konoha, and he was excited for what the future held. Chapter 5, Reconnecting with Sakura. Sasuke had been back in Konoha for a few months now, and he was starting to feel like he was finally settling in. He had reconnected with Naruto, made progress with his training, and even started to feel a sense of belonging in the village. But there was one person he still hadn't fully reconciled with, Sakura. They had talked a few times since Sasuke's return, but things still felt awkward between them. Sasuke knew that he had hurt her deeply when he left, and he wasn't sure if there was anything he could do to make things right. One day, as he was training in the forest, Sasuke saw Sakura walking towards him. She looked determined, but also nervous. Hey, Sasuke, she said, stopping a few feet away from him. Hey, Sasuke said cautiously. I just wanted to talk to you, Sakura said, looking down at her feet. I know things have been weird between us since you came back, and I just wanted to say that I'm sorry for the way I acted before. I was just hurt, and I didn't know how to deal with it. Sasuke nodded, not sure what to say. He had been so focused on his own feelings of guilt and regret that he hadn't stopped to consider how Sakura might be feeling. I'm sorry too, he said finally. For everything. Sakura looked up at him, and Sasuke saw something in her eyes that he hadn't seen in a long time, hope. Maybe we can start over, she said tentatively. As friends, at least. Sasuke smiled. As they walked back to the village together, Sasuke felt like a new chapter had started in his life. He still had a long way to go before he could fully make amends for his past mistakes, but he was finally starting to feel like he had a chance at redemption. Chapter 6: A New Sensei. After his successful mission with Naruto, Sasuke's reputation in the village started to improve. He was still known as the boy who had left to seek power, but more and more people were starting to see him as someone who had come back to protect the village he had once abandoned. One day, Sasuke was summoned to the Hokage's office again. When he arrived, he saw that Kakashi was already there, waiting for him. "Hey, Sasuke," Kakashi said with a smile. "I have some news for you." Sasuke raised an eyebrow. "What kind of news?" "I've been reassigned to another mission," Kakashi explained. "But don't worry, you're not going to be left without a sensei. I've arranged for someone else to take my place." Sasuke looked at Kakashi, confused. "Who?" Kakashi's smile grew wider. "Me," he said. Sasuke's eyes widened in surprise. "You're going to be my sensei?" Kakashi nodded. "I've been watching you since you came back, Sasuke. You've made a lot of progress, but there's still a long way to go. I think I can help you get there." Sasuke felt a surge of gratitude towards Kakashi. He had always respected the older ninja, and he knew that he had a lot to learn from him. "I won't let you down," Kakashi grinned. "I know you won't." And so, Sasuke began a new chapter in his training under Kakashi's guidance. With his new sensei at his side, he felt like he could accomplish anything. Chapter 7: Facing the Sound 4. As Sasuke's training with Kakashi progressed, he found himself getting stronger and more confident every day. He was learning new techniques and refining his existing skills, and he knew that he was getting closer to his goal of avenging his family. But there was still one obstacle standing in his way: the Sound 4. The Sound 4 were Orochimaru's elite team of ninja, and they had been responsible for taking Sasuke away from Konoha in the first place. Sasuke knew that he couldn't rest until he had defeated them, but he also knew that he wasn't ready to face them alone. One day, he approached Kakashi with a request. "I want to take on the Sound 4, he said, his voice steady. Kakashi looked at him carefully. "Are you sure you're ready for that, Sasuke? They're not an easy opponent." "I know," Sasuke said. "But I can't keep putting this off. I have to face them eventually." Kakashi nodded. "All right. We'll start preparing for the mission." Over the next few weeks, Sasuke and Kakashi trained intensively for their upcoming battle with the Sound 4. They studied their opponent's strengths and weaknesses, practiced new strategies, and honed their teamwork. Finally, the day of the mission arrived. Sasuke and Kakashi made their way to the Sound Village, where they knew the Sound 4 were waiting for them. The battle was intense. The Sound 4 were powerful opponents, and they fought with a ferocity that Sasuke had never experienced before. But with Kakashi at his side, Sasuke was able to hold his own. They worked together flawlessly, combining their skills to take down each of the Sound 4 one by one. In the end, Sasuke stood victorious, his enemies defeated at his feet. He looked over at Kakashi, feeling a sense of pride and gratitude. "Thank you," he said quietly. Kakashi smiled. "You did well, Sasuke. But this is just the beginning. There's still a long way to go." Chapter 8: A New Sensei. After their victory over the Sound 4, Sasuke and Kakashi returned to Konoha as heroes. The village celebrated their success, and Sasuke felt a sense of pride and belonging that he hadn't felt in a long time. But he knew that he still had much to learn if he was going to defeat his brother and achieve his revenge. And he also knew that he needed a new sensei, someone who could teach him the skills and techniques that he needed to reach the next level. He approached the Hokage with his request, and after careful consideration, the Hokage agreed to assign him a new teacher, none other than the legendary Sannin, Jiraiya. Sasuke was thrilled. He had heard many stories about Jiraiya's legendary skills and experience, and he knew that he would be in good hands. Jiraiya was a tough but fair teacher, pushing Sasuke to his limits and teaching him new techniques that he had never even imagined. They spent countless hours training, honing Sasuke's abilities and pushing him to become stronger. But Jiraiya was also a mentor and a friend. He listened to Sasuke's stories and offered him advice and guidance, helping him to overcome his doubts and fears. As the weeks turned into months, Sasuke began to feel a new sense of purpose and direction. He knew that he was getting closer to his goal, and he also knew that he had found a new family in Konoha. And with Jiraiya at his side, he was more confident than ever that he would achieve his revenge and bring honor to his clan. Chapter 9, The Return of Itachi. As Sasuke continued his training with Jiraiya, he heard rumors that his brother Itachi had returned to the village. At first, he was skeptical. He had spent so many years hating Itachi, blaming him for the destruction of their clan and the death of their parents. But he couldn't help but feel a sense of curiosity and even hope. Maybe he could finally confront Itachi and get the answers he had been searching for. He approached the Hokage and asked for permission to speak with Itachi. The Hokage was hesitant, knowing the history between the two brothers, but ultimately agreed to set up a meeting. Sasuke met with Itachi in a secluded area outside the village. They spoke for hours, with Sasuke asking question after question about their family, their clan, and the night of the massacre. At first, Itachi was hesitant to answer. He knew that his past actions had caused his brother immense pain and suffering, and he didn't want to make things worse. But as the night wore on, he began to open up, sharing the truth about the Uchiha clan and the role he had played in their downfall. Sasuke was stunned. He had never imagined that there was more to the story than what he had been told as a child. He listened intently as Itachi explained the inner workings of the clan and the political machinations that had led to their demise. And as the night drew to a close, Sasuke felt a sense of closure that he had never experienced before. He realized that he had been holding on to his hatred and anger for too long, and that it was time to move on. Itachi left the village soon after their meeting, but Sasuke felt as though a weight had been lifted off his shoulders. He knew that he still had work to do, but he was more focused and determined than ever before. And with Jiraiya's guidance and the support of his new friends in Konoha, he was confident that he would achieve his goals and become the ninja he was always meant to be. Chapter 10, The Future of Konoha. As Sasuke continued to train and improve his skills, he began to think about the future of Konoha. He had always been a fiercely independent person, but he realized that he couldn't achieve his goals alone. He started to think about the kind of leader he wanted to be, and the kind of village he wanted to help create. He knew that he wanted to create a place where young ninjas could thrive, and where people could live in peace and prosperity. He began to work with the Hokage and other leaders in the village to implement new programs and initiatives that would help to support the next generation of ninjas. He also started to mentor younger ninjas, sharing his knowledge and skills with them so that they could become stronger and more capable. And as he looked around the village, he saw the progress that they were making. The streets were cleaner, the buildings were more vibrant, and the people were happier. Sasuke knew that there was still much work to be done, but he was confident that the future of Konoha was bright. He was proud to be a part of it, and he knew that he had made the right decision in staying in the village and choosing a different path. As he walked through the streets, he felt a sense of purpose and belonging that he had never experienced before. He knew that he had finally found his place in the world, and that he was ready to take on whatever challenges lay ahead. Itachi did not die as he did in the original story, and instead was redeemed by Sasuke. Orochimaru was defeated and captured by Konoha ninjas. Sasuke remained in Konoha and continued to train and improve his skills. Sasuke's presence in Konoha led to a series of changes, including improved programs and initiatives to support the next generation of ninjas, and increased mentorship of younger ninjas. The future of Konoha was bright, and Sasuke felt a sense of purpose and belonging in the village.